How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be talking about the first episode of a brand new TV show, so that's always exciting. This is Tales of the Walking Dead. This is Season 1, Episode 1, Evie/Joe. It looks like all these episodes are going to be titled based on the survivors we follow around. So Evie and Joe for the first one. August 14th, 2022 is when this episode first aired. And this is directed by Ron Underwood and stars Terry Crews and Olivia Munn. So some pretty good actors there. Always fun to see Terry Crews. And when you do an anthology show, yeah, maybe you can get a big actor in for an episode. That's a cool idea. Anyway, I guess I should start out saying I'm a pretty big zombie fan. You know, I really love zombie movies. The original Romero stuff is really great, and I really love the Walking Dead comic. The show was never as good as its source material, but it had its moments. And, you know, especially the first season was really great. So, the Walking Dead show, I watched most of it, and it was winding down, and, you know, AMC, the Breaking Bad spinoff, Better Call Saul, is winding down. Right at the same time Walking Dead is winding down. Two of their biggest shows are starting to close up. We did have a few Walking Dead spinoffs. Fear the Walking Dead, which I thought was okay, but it got a little frustrating, a few things that would happen in that show. And then Beyond, I never really got into. I watched the first episode. It didn't really hook me. You can tell me if the show gets better, but yeah, the spin-offs have been kind of a mixed bag. But then I heard the concept for this, an anthology show that takes place in the world of The Walking Dead, following a bunch of different characters on unique individual stories. And I heard that hook, and I'm like, that's a good idea. Horror works really well in anthology. And plus, I mean, this is a Tales show, like Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side. So I'm like, let's see where they go with this. I think there's definitely potential to do a bunch of fun, interesting, and unique stories. And I can see where this show has room to grow. That being said, the first episode is very safe and standard. It's not bad, but it's very much a story formula we've seen before, with some, you know, fun, you know, characters and jokes, and, you know, it's okay. It's just, like I said, very safe. So let's get into that. We open up a basic, non-spoilery plot synopsis. We get Terry Crews, and he's a prepper, and he's living in his bunker, and it's basically a man cave. You know, he's got the football helmet in a glass box, he's got a bunch of recordings of games, and he's starting to memorize them. But he's there with his dog, and he's living a content life. However, one day he goes out, there's zombies, and the dog dies trying to save him from the zombies. A really sad moment, but yeah, dogs in horror movies don't have the best track record. Anyway, so having lost his best friend, it's really hard to sit there alone, and he remembers someone he met online before the apocalypse. He was in a forum talking about prepper stuff, and he met this girl that he became really good friends with, and figures, hey, she's a prepper, she's probably still alive, I should try to find her. And I guess before everything went down, he went and printed out all their conversations together to reread later. And it's a good thing he did this, because he can go through their conversation and look for clues to try to find her. Which I thought was an interesting thing, you know. I really wish they had expanded on this more and turned it into a little bit of a detective story. But he's looking through and he finds, like, okay, all the people around her are fans of this sports team, which would probably put them in this location. And, oh, she said that all the workers work for this company, this factory or something. That would probably mean where these two overlap, and he can kind of track her down that way. I think it's really interesting. And since he's a friend, it's a good thing. Although that being said, it really gets you questioning what all do you say online. Yeah, this, if he wasn't a friend, could have gone really crazy, but he's able to track her down, and he's going to go out and try to find her. He's got a motorcycle with a nice little sidecar, and he heads out, and almost immediately he falls in a trap and gets caught in a big net. And then we meet this girl. She's a hippie girl, and she pulls a gun on him and says, "I need you to drive me somewhere. If you do that, I'll let you go." And the two set out on a road trip. And you know how I said you can kind of see where a lot of this is going? This is very much the Odd Couple formula. You know, they don't like each other at first, but slowly over time they're going to understand each other and become better friends. I mean, we've seen it all before. The roles are played good enough, and there is a good bit of humor. And you know, it's always fun to see these two actors, so it's not bad, but it's very, very predictable. I do like they did this thing where they realize that there are two different types of preppers. You get Terry Crews, the very macho prepper, and then you get this girl that he meets that's very much the hippie prepper that's, you know, into growing her own food and living off the land. And I really do like that they're like, hey, there are two different types of preppers, but they, you know, they seem very different, but maybe they have more in common than you think. So that's an interesting concept to take off from. And, you know, it's a road trip formula. Those are always fun, you know, go out on the road, try to get to your destination. Road trip movies are always cool. But anyway, like I said, you kind of know where it's going, and I won't spoil the end, but when you get towards the end, you're like, I know what this is going to wind up being, and they do have an interesting motivation for what happens at the end, and there are some interesting moments, but it's one of those where you can see the twist coming from a mile away, and it's, I don't know, it's another one of those things. It's not bad, but we've seen it before, and that's sort of the thing, the big takeaway with this episode. The show's really not bad, but it's nothing new and interesting and nothing super memorable, and you can almost feel the studio executives going, play it safe for the first episode, you know? We really need the new Walking Dead show to stick. Don't do anything too weird that will chase away viewers. Give them big actors being funny and stick to the formula we know. And yeah, it's not at all a bad thing. It's just not super inventive, and it's a little bit forgettable. But that being said, I wonder if this is a first episode thing, or if this is going to be the whole show, you know? Is it a case of, we made a good one, everybody's going to like it and have fun, now we can go off and do our own thing? Or are all 6 episodes going to be standard and formulaic, you know? Not bad, kind of fun, but not memorable, you know? So I'm wondering where the rest is going to go. And I think this is only 6 episodes, so I think there's only 5 more. I can definitely stick it out and see what's going to happen. But that being said, I hope we get more creative and different stories. And I do want to emphasize, it's not bad, it's just formulaic and standard, you know? So we do get the road trip element, we do get Terry Crews being funny, and yeah, he's in a big net. That's hilarious. You know, so it is good. It's got humor to it. It's just, again, very, very standard. So I'm thinking this is a safe first episode, and I'm really hoping that we get some new and interesting stories coming up in the future, because I really do want to emphasize there is a ton of potential for this show, you know, not having to worry about long-term continuity, getting to do new and different things. I mean, in the regular Walking Dead, trying to stretch it out for long-term was one of the things that it didn't necessarily do the best, you know. Sometimes things were slow and drawn out, or they were trying to feed us stuff that we didn't care about, like who's doing these markings on these trees. I don't care. So being able to just make one story, one unique individual thing, there's potential there, and I'm hoping the show starts to do something new and different, and that's just one of those we'll have to see later moments. A few other random bits with this episode. One, we got a few F-bombs in here. So we're finally seeing AMC go, hey, we're basic cable, we can do whatever we want. So yeah, we're starting to see them be a little more R-rated. I wish they had made this decision before Negan showed up, but whatever. And also, we do see a Walking Dead trope where they're calling the zombies toe tags this time around, which is one of those, like, I get the concept. You know, you see a zombie, society shuts down too quickly, no one gives them a common name, so each individual group of people would come up with the name by themselves, and you get a wide variety. But that being said, The Walking Dead always aggressively pushes this concept, and we've gotten a few ridiculous names for zombies, and toe tags is one of the weirder ones. Although part of me now wishes they just pushed this as a joke as far as they could, and we got some stupid ones. That would be funny. But anyway, curious what you guys thought of this. You know, I think formulaic, fun enough. I think this was a safe first episode, and I think we'll see more different stuff later. But it's a case of good enough start, not great, here's hoping for the future. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my zombies playlist. You can click right there, see me talk about a bunch of zombie movies. I covered the original Romero trilogy and a whole bunch of other ones. So if you want to see me talk about more zombie stuff, you can click right there and see more. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist on the bottom. Have a good day now.